While we like to calculate the prize money wrestlers win, Nikkan Sports keeps track of the cash prizes wrestlers lose. And top of the pile this year, missing out on 582 envelopes to the tune of $174,600, is ever hapless Ozeki Shodai. I wanted those big payouts, obviously, but tried not to think about them in the actual bouts, he said when informed by phone of his bizarre accolade. Earlier in the year, I fought and lost a few closing bouts when cash prizes are at their highest. Asked what he would have done had he collected those prizes, he said, "Maybe buy a car. But as active wrestlers can't drive, I'd have to think on that one." He then supposed he'd buy a watch to add to his existing collection, which runs into tens of thousands of dollars. How can he still afford that? Well, as you've seen from this video, Shodai's annual earnings still amount to over $500,000. Elsewhere, Meisei has been training hard, fighting 26 bouts with stable juniors on Tuesday. Asked for his reaction to a first losing score in 10 tournaments, he said, "It was disappointing, but it loosened me up for the final weekend. I was in great condition for the final 2 bouts, just taking a really natural approach. But I should be like that from day one, really." He's been studying other athletes' words and actions for clues as to what constitutes a winning mentality. His 2021 experience in the higher ranks should do him the world of good going forward. One of his key rivals, Takano Sho, has again used his December interview to stake his claim for Ozeki. "I want to make an impact next year and aim for the next level up," said the recent Fighting Spirit Prize winner. "Things are coming together for me now. I nearly surprised myself with how calmly and well I fought in November." He views stablemate Takakeisho as his role model, saying, "I respect his mentality, how he carries himself, and how he looks after his body. I don't think he'd be where he is without those qualities." We also learned that he received some Lush bath products for his recent birthday. Now, sumo chiefs have announced that ex-Sekiwake and title winner Annen Yama, later Haguro Yama, and previous coach Tatsunami, has died at the age of 86. And it seems they took a while to learn of this information. His date of death was given as February the 8th. The previous Tatsunami trained up both Ozeki Asahikuni and Yokozuna Futahaguro, but suffered greatly during the latter's stormy sumo departure. He later triggered a stable handover dispute with his then son-in-law and adopted son, the current coach Tatsunami, leading to the stable's relocation far from Ryogoku until 2021. Finally, just a couple of corrections to previous posts. Nikkan Sports was right to say that 2021 saw the lowest number of new top division faces under the 6-tournament system. However, it was wrong to say that nobody new had reached Division 1. As NHK pointed out mid-tournament, of course, these 2 men did. Secondly, I also told you that Abi's November training camp was just down the street from Takakeisho's, and wondered out loud how I'd missed it. Well, here's why. You can see the Tenku Funeral Hall at the top right of your picture, but only an unused dohyo at the Yamate Public Hall, where Abi and co trained in 2019. Presumably, no thrusting attacks allowed in the direction of the road. I only had pre-pandemic training camp details, I'm afraid. Most of them were still correct, but some stables had moved, and for COVID bubble reasons would not say where, as they did not want fans turning up. Finally, my apologies to masterful NHK announcer Mr Yoshida, who I was startled to find at the next counter to mine in the bakery. I thought his first name was spelt like this, Takeru, but it's actually spelt like this, Masaru. Both words can be read as Ken, hence my confusion. So, my utmost respect to Mr Yoshida, a great commentator immensely true to himself, who pays for his bread with the same voice he puts into the mic, and who is clearly a sumo fan in an NHK suit, who also happens to excel at his job. He should obviously be better known than we sumo YouTubers. I will aim to make sure that happens.